Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Cartere, and in this video, I'm going to be reviewing House of Cards Season 4, Episode 3. So, let me just give you my thoughts on the episode. I just finished watching it, and wow. Wow, things are getting real right about now. Pieces are being moved, the pawns are in place, the gloves are off. The gloves are off. It's getting a bit mad over there. There's loads of plot threads that seem like they're gonna explode, not in favor of Frank. What's the word? The opposite of in favor. I don't know. In opposition to Frank's goals, anyway. So, um, yeah, it was a very good episode. Very good episode. I'm very excited to see what comes up in the next episodes. I'm very excited to see the choices that our characters make and to see what comes of the things that have been. I don't know what comes of the things that have happened in episode 3, because a lot of things happened. So let's get into it. First of all, we're going to start off with Lucas versus Frank. So Lucas sees Underwood in the newspaper. He then rips out a page with an article on Dunbar. Then we see Lucas is blackmailed into having sex with a guy in return for borrowing a car from the car wash where he works, which is just stress, man. His life is just really, really crap right now. And then Lucas gets the car he wants. He poses as a reporter to meet up with an old friend who introduces him to Heather Dunbar. Dunbar then refuses to get involved, and Lucas seems really torn up. Like, he's crying on the floor. It's just unhappy days for Lucas. So he's really on the edge right by now. He might do anything. But later on, Dunbar thinks his accusations are silly and untrue because he says that Frank murdered 2 people. And obviously, if it's like the president of the United States, you're not going to be believing such wild claims. But we know that, Frank is out here, like he's doing some bullshit. But later on, it seems that Dunbar is actually considering using Lucas in her efforts to win against Frank. So it's going to be really interesting to see what comes of that. Then let's get on to Russia versus Frank. Basically, Russia are driving up gas prices. We learned that in episode 2, but I didn't mention it because I didn't really. It was kind of like a one-line thing, but now it's actually a big plot point. So that's happening, which of course causes a lot of anger, like public anger towards Frank. Frank then decides to support Milkin, who is Petrov's enemy that he didn't get to kill, who wanted asylum in the US from the last episode. He decides to support him in order to scare Petrov, um, basically. So he's gonna support this guy, and then Petrov's already paranoid, thinking that Frank is working with these guys already. So Frank's like, I might as well do it. And maybe if he sees me doing this shit, then he might be like, okay, all right, stop doing it, and I'll stop extorting you guys with the gas prices. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out, because I don't see the Russian president backing down at all, because Petrov seems like a madman. I already said it, and I still believe it. The third big plot point going on in this episode is Claire versus Frank. So basically, there's a lot that happened in this episode, and I've got it down in my notes, and I'm about to read through it. Basically, Frank does his rounds at a black church in the beginning of the episode, trying to get the black vote with the support of Celia and Doris Jones. That seems to go pretty well. He gives a good speech and all that sort of shit. Then we see Leanne, who is obviously Claire's campaign advisor or something like that. She's taking pictures of something in a security deposit box, and then places the earrings that Frank gave to Claire in that security deposit box and puts it back. She then hands the pictures over to Oren Chase, which is a guy who really hates Underwood. I think he kind of screwed him out of something in season 2, but I'm not 100% sure what happened. I think that was when like the child was killed, because the child was off school, and basically I think Orange Chase had the schools go on strike for some reason. I don't really remember it, but we know that this guy hates Frank, basically. So we learned that it was a picture of Frank's father shaking the hands of a member with the KKK, which is obviously very bad for him right about now. The day of the primary, he's just trying to secure the black vote because in his hometown it's majority black. He needs to sympathize with the black voters and he needs them to vote for him. So a picture of his dad shaking hands with the KKK, not really great for him right about now. The picture is then plastered over a billboard in Publix, and all the press get to it. It's just terrible times. Then Doris and Celia stop endorsing Frank. Like they're just not with it. They're like, we can't do this, fam. Claire then suggests it may have been Orrin Chase. Frank then gets Orrin to admit that he is the one that put up the billboard. Frank claims that his father. Well, oh, basically, Frank holds a press conference back at the church again to try and appeal to the black voters again, and he basically lets these guys know that his father was the guy in the picture, and he basically begged the leader of the KKK to help him get a loan from the bank in order to save his family's farm. Frank then realizes it must have been Claire who set this whole thing up when he finds her earrings in the safety deposit box after Meacham retrieves it for him. So now he's like, okay, I knew it, but I just didn't want to believe it. He actually says that to the camera as well. It was fucking epic. Claire then tells Frank he needs her because he's losing. She asks him to team up with her as his running mate, so basically as vice president, to which Frank's like, no way, you haven't even holded office at all, you've never run for anything, you ain't coming up on here, like, you don't appreciate anything, you've been rich your whole life, like, no way. He refuses vehemently. He's not about that at all. And then Claire says she can be part of his campaign or she can end it, which is fighting words right by now. Like, Claire's not on a joke thing. Earlier in the episode also, let me see if I wrote this down. I remember she was having a conversation with her mum, and her mum was like, oh, when you leave, don't come back here. And Claire was like, I'll come and go as I please. Like, she's not taking shit from no one right about now. So I've kind of got a soft spot for Claire right about now, even though I'm rooting for Frank. Like, Claire's doing her thing. She's being ruthless and heartless out here, so I've got to rate her in that. And then the last big plot point is Seth versus Frank. Remember, Seth, was it in the first episode where he was getting approached by Dunbar's people them to betray Frank, and then we didn't see if he actually done it or not? Well, in this episode, basically, Frank and Doug are suspicious of Seth when the billboard leaks, and then after that all happens and that blows over and Frank does his speech and whatever, Seth then sends a picture of Frank taking a picture with a Civil War reenactor to Dunbar. This happened in, I think it was season 3. I don't think it was season 2. I'm not 100% sure, but he was basically at a Civil War reenactment and he just took pictures with a guy. I think they were on the side of the South. They must have been for it to be such a kerfuffle right about now. But yeah, this ensures that Frank loses the primary, and then Seth accuses Meacham of doing it, which I think was a really, really, really bad decision by Seth, because that's just good. Like, Meacham is such a loyal dog, like, so to accuse him, obviously everyone's gonna be like, Meacham definitely didn't do it. Seth's moving a bit fishy right by now. We're already thinking you're moving a bit snaky, so, like, what's going on? They're probably going to look deeper into it and see what Seth's up to. And I think I've got 4 questions here for you guys to leave your answers in the comments below and to give my predictions right by now. But also, it seems as though Frank is losing his mind. I didn't want to overstep this. It wasn't a big plot point, but it might be, because he's seeing blood running from the taps and he keeps on picturing himself killing Claire. So, I don't know. Imagine if he kills Claire. That would be too mad. He can't do that. He can't do that. Nah. That will really fuck up his campaign. He shouldn't be killing Claire. But basically, Seth is definitely betraying Frank now, and he's distrusted by Frank and Doug. Will Seth be fired, or will he be murdered? Or will he get away unscathed? Like, that's my question to you guys. I think, you know what, I think he'll probably be murdered, because Doug is out here. Like, Doug is ready to bury a man. So I don't think they're going to let him get away with this sort of bullshit. But I don't know, because I don't think Frank really wants to be getting any more exposure to crimes and stuff. Like, he needs to be as clean as possible. So I think it would be best if he just fires him. Will Frank team up with Claire, or will he stubbornly oppose her? Personally, I think the best decision for Frank is to team up with Claire. I hope he does, but seeing his character throughout all these seasons, he doesn't seem like the type of guy who's gonna bow down to Claire and give her the chance that she wants. But I don't know. I think he will. I think he will team up with her, and I'm hoping that occurs. But my logical side is saying he won't. Leave your comments down below. I'm very unsure. How will Petrov respond to Frank's support of Petrov's enemies? I think Petrov is a madman, and he's gonna respond in force. I don't think he's gonna back down. I think he's probably gonna jack the gas prices up even more, or maybe stop trading with America or something. I definitely don't think he's gonna back down. I think that was probably a terrible ploy from Frank, but I guess he doesn't want to back down either, so he can't be a bitch. But I don't know, I'm just hoping it works out, but it doesn't seem like it's going to at all. And then, will Dunbar give Lucas the chance he wants to get back at Frank? Will Dunbar use Lucas to get at Frank? I think yes. Otherwise, there was no point of them meeting. There was no point of her saying, let's look into him or whatever, let's think about it. I think definitely they're going to get together, and it's not going to be happy times for Frank. I don't know if anyone's actually going to believe the claims that Lucas is making, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, that was episode 4. Or no, it was episode 3. It was episode 3. We're going to get on to episode 4 in the next one. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you liked this video, and I'll see you guys next time.
It's been a cold winter and it's lasted far too long, so all this warmth I share with you.